everybody. Welcome back. We are here with another episode of SNIP'S COMLINK. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been so long since I recorded my last episode, but it's literally only been a week. Just because the week's been like so busy, I'm like, oh my god, it felt so long ago. But I'm so excited to be here. If you don't know who I am, shame on you. If you're at episode 7 and you haven't figured out who I am, I'm not judging, but questioning just a little bit. You should. But my name is Nat. I go by Natty Light, Natty, to my friends out in the UK. And I'm also the Real Jedi Princess. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my podcast. Usually my podcast is here for people that don't know a lick about Star Wars, anime, cosplay, whatever you name it. And I bring on some awesome people that know so much or I've been friends with for over a year, and we just have a great conversation. So you get to, on the bright side, take something from this and learn something you probably didn't learn, you never knew before. So yeah, that's what my podcast is. And I'm honestly so happy to have Blake here, clone to Snug.
Hello.
Awesome cosplayer. Has an Instagram account. Please go, like, I'm going to say it so far in advance. Please go follow him on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube. His cosplay is amazing. And I think, like, I don't know any other cosplayer out there like you.
Thank you.
Your cosplays are so awesome. And the quality of your shoots, I feel like, I'm like, dude, you must be on this, like, A24 level, like, yeah, photo shoot that you do with these cosplays. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, I put a lot of work into them, so I always try to make it like a good quality like video or photo for sure.
It's like I'm actually watching the movie. I'm like, at this point they should be using your pictures for promo.
I
guess that's the quality that you're giving out.
Comic-Con is right now. They're freaking, like, every poster that they have and like all that stuff, it's like me on it. So I'm just like, hey, can I get a free ticket?
Is it really?
Yeah, like all their other promotional stuff is me and Ray Kendricks, which is really funny. Yeah.
Dude. Oh yeah, no. Comic-Con, you better be sponsoring this man at this point. You're gonna be using his pictures for promo. Come on. But Blake, introduce yourself. Like, I know you, but I don't think my channel knows you.
Hi, I'm Blake, aka Clone to Snug. I'm a cosplayer and professional dork. I cosplay as, I have Tuck right here, which is a fan-made clone trooper. And then I have Anna right here, which is my Ahsoka Mandalorian, and then I cosplay as Captain Rex. And I have a couple more coming as well.
Oh, wow. Well, Tuck, I have never seen you actually mention it, but I've seen pictures of it recently, and I was like, is that like an original character to you? Is that
or it was fan-made? It's from Animation High Ground. He honestly is insane. Like, he has recreated like this character, Tuck, and his whole like battalion, and like animates it like Clone Wars. Like, you'll see it like on like TikTok and stuff, and like you're just like, what episode did I miss? Like, where did this come from? Is this like a Bad Batch like release? Like, it's crazy. Like, looks straight out of Clone Wars. It's really cool. So, and I have the
wow. So is he like the cat? So he's Captain Tuck.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So technically, is he? This is gonna be. He just said he's a professional dork. I'm a professional dork too. So does this mean like is he a clone?
Yeah.
Is he just a regular trooper?
He's a clone.
Like, so he's a clone. Okay.
He's got like a whole, like, he made him a whole battalion. 212. No, not 212. Oh, I should know this. 241st, I believe. I should know this because I cosplay him.
Oh wow!
But I always forget the numbers.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, because like he looks very different than like Rex.
Yeah.
And most clone troopers. So like I was like, oh, that's a very specific color. That's a very specific, design on his trooper armor. I
he's
was just
got
like, oh, I really, really
he's
liked
got
it.
like the Captain Vaughn visor, and I really don't know what this is. I think it's a flashlight. And then his little antenna. But my favorite part's the feather. He's got a little feather.
It's just that little like
Yeah,
accent that you just need on a cosplay that just makes it
yeah.
perfect.
And
Loved it.
I
Oh, that's
fall in love with it because
awesome.
I was gonna be making a Bly because Ray needed it for one of her films, and that was the goal at first. And then he came out with this, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, Ray, I gotta make this. Like, it's my favorite color. I gotta do it, you know." So I had an extra kit, and I busted it out in like a week. So yeah,
Oh, you made that entire thing in a
yeah.
week? Talent.
I mean, once you know what you're doing,
Talent.
it's
You
pretty
see,
easy.
true. I want 100%. I mean, I'm still not at that point because I'm gonna be very honest. Like when it comes to cosplay, I'm more the person like I would rather just buy the entire thing because I don't know how to create it. I don't know how to sew. I don't know how to like. I don't have a 3D printer. I don't have any of these things to like make a cosplay like fully from scratch. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just trust the the talent of other people and pay
Yeah.
to get it done.
I mean, my Rex thing, I
But
had no clue what I was doing when I made Rex. Like, it was during quarantine. I did no research. I just winged it, which I pretty much do with everything. But that one took me like 6 months because I just didn't know like what I was
to
doing.
fully complete
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I took a little break because I
Oh
cut my
wow.
leg open and had to go to the ER with a knife. But that's another story. So I took like a little bit of break. So it really only took me like 4 months, but like it's really complicated and like really overwhelming. And I'm hoping to get another clone kit here soon, and then I'll start making YouTubes because like there's nobody really out there that makes stuff. Like Imperial Surplus makes a video, but I want to make like a more in depth so it's easier for people to learn how to do it because I had no idea. I just started my Instagram. Like I had like my personal account, but I didn't know anybody in the community. Like so, it was really hard for me. I was just kind of winging it, and
You were by
yeah,
yourself and you were kind of doing it all on your
yeah. So
own,
like,
no
I couldn't go
advice.
to armor
I
parties.
mean, that's awesome.
I couldn't go to armor parties because I didn't know anybody, and it was also like during COVID, and so I was just all by myself. And I was like, I hope this is right. Like my first cut I made, I was like so scared. Like I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right, and just like so sketchy. And then when I made talk, I was just like, blue, good, next piece, blue, next piece, like. It was just so easy after that. So once you learn the first
You
one,
felt more confident making tuck,
yeah,
definitely. Okay, well that's awesome. I mean, I know like, we met last year on somebody's live stream and I remember like you were still like so new to the
yeah,
cosplay community. Like you had your Rex and I literally remember your Rex. I don't like you didn't have like the other helmets.
nope,
Um I do remember you having a Vader one behind you, but that was about it. You were like it was very you just had Rex and I think a couple of the
yeah,
things. But yeah, and then like within a year, like so many more cosplays came out. I also think it was helpful that, we no longer had to like really quarantine. We could file like things were starting to open up again, so we were finally able to like get out and meet these people
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
And then of course, like you literally I think Star Wars Celebration this past year, like obviously with it being in Anaheim and you living in California helps. But oh my god, I've seen so many of your pictures like throughout like so many people's Instagrams. I'm like, that's
yeah.
Blake.
It was a lot of fun.
That's Balake.
It was a lot, but it was a lot of fun for sure.
Celebration is such a complex
Yeah,
convention. Like I can't express like I keep telling our friends like Jim and Sam and Izzy and Charlie and Simon. I'm like, Celebration is going to be so
yeah.
chaotic, good chaotic, but like it's
That's the
going to be
best way to
chaotic.
describe
And
it.
they're like, for example, it's it's a good chaos.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much happening at once. The first 2 days, you don't sleep and you don't eat, because like I remember going in 2017, got up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, was at the convention center by 4 a.m., was in security line by 5 a.m. Doors didn't open until like 7 to get into security, and then we finally were in the gates like by 9 to get into the panel room. And that alone was so stressful because everyone wanted to be in the main room, as everyone should. And my friend and I literally got in by like one of the last few people to get into the main room, and we had like waited for 4 hours. But it was totally worth it because we saw Harrison Ford.
Nice.
And it was his first time ever showing up to a Star Wars celebration. Like, he never would show up to Star Wars. Nope. He showed up, and it was just awesome. It was also the year after Carrie had passed. So they did like a tribute for her, which was really, really beautiful. But it's a lot of chaos. It's so many panels. It's so many rooms that you can go to. So much merchandise. Like,
I don't know if they're going to do the same thing they did this year. Instead of like lining up for like panels and stuff, like you have to win like a lottery, or like sign up for you have to try to sign up for the panels beforehand. So I
know that's what they did in 2017. Well, in 2017, you had to get a wristband. You were only allowed to get 2 wristbands a day for panels, and it was first come, first serve. So if you got into the line, if you got in through security in the morning, you had to like haul your ass down to the main room to get in line for these panels. And I think I got every panel I wanted to go to. Yeah. I think there was like one I missed out on. Like, I think it was like the Woman of Star Wars one I couldn't get into, but I ended up going to the Rogue One panel instead. Totally worth it. But yeah, it was very much chaos, and you were only allowed to go to 2 panels. Like, that was your limit.
Yeah, this one was like a.
So I don't know if they did that for this.
So this one was like I didn't even really know about it. Like, so I didn't really get any panels, but like it was like weeks before, like you signed up and you would see if you won, like on your phone. Like, you didn't even have to go. So like you didn't have to wake up at 2 a.m. to get in line because you already have the panel.
If they can honestly do that next year in London, that'd be great, because I'm staying with Jim. Yeah. So the distance from his place to the Excel Center in London is going to be like a 45 to 50 minute like adventure. Yeah. And I'm like, if I don't have to get up early.
Yeah, because I think they were trying to prevent like that like huge line for hours on end, because like security needs to be there super early and like all that kind of stuff. So I think they're probably gonna switch to the lottery system, which sucks, but also like is kind of nice because I didn't have to wake up that early. You know, I woke up like I had to be there at like 9. I woke up at like 8, got ready and drove up to the convention center. You know, it was super nice.
That's simple. Yeah. That's definitely nice. But basically, like my first 2 days, I were just really, really early days, and then by like the 3rd and 4th day, I was like rolling into the convention center around like 10 a.m., maybe 11, and I would just walk around, and I did some shopping, and that's what's gonna bite me next year is the shopping part. All that whole floor on merch alone is.
That's not good chaos.
There's no good. No. It's just chaos. It's not even good or bad. It's just chaos, because like you could see something and you're like, oh my god, that's so awesome. I really want to get it, but I'll just circle back around. No,
grab it.
You will not find it again. You will not like find it again. So it's kind of like you see something you really want. I hate to say it, but you have to impulse buy it.
Honestly,
or like really be like.
When I was at Celebration, I went to the store. Like it was like Black Friday. Like people were just like mobbing in, like just grabbing stuff. I was like, I'm just here for one pop. Like I'm just trying to find the Grogu pop. Like where is it? Like I was so bummed I didn't get the RTD.
It has a sign up saying, "I'm trying to look for this one thing. I could care less about everything else."
But it was because like I went in, and the second time I went in, instead of the pop being there, the Grogu pup, they were just handing it out when you were walking through the line. Like, so like everybody got one. And I was
They're
like,
like,
okay,
oh
cool.
wow. I know when I was in 2017, I had to buy I don't know why I was so impulsive to buy the Star Wars Celebration book that came out with the art. Not gonna lie, the art that year that they did for all the promo was like the sickest shit I've ever seen in my life. It was so, so cool. But I think I left with pins, the book, I think the t-shirt. Yeah, I had a Star Wars Celebration 2017 t-shirt. And oh my god, like, but I saw people were like buying stuff. But I also like going to the other like small shops and buying stuff from there too.
Yeah,
But the Star Wars officials like celebration store was so
yeah.
chaotic. And even just to get in, I'm just like, next year I'll probably make one visit, see if I want anything there, and if not, just kind of keep it to the small shop vendors. I do though want to be one of those people to get a tattoo at Star Wars
They're
Celebration.
so expensive.
So I'm gonna.
I looked. It's like it's like
wait, you have to buy it in
it's like
advance?
getting like something like this is like $350. It's crazy.
My Ahsoka tattoo was $350. The one on my leg was $350. Okay, well, never mind.
It's really expensive. Because I was like, I'm down.
You're just
like,
so.
I was like, I'll do it. Like, I'll go get a full set.
Even to get like Ahsoka's little thing. Oh no,
They're all
absolutely
expensive.
not.
Like, I was like looking to like get like a little lightsaber, and it was like minimum like $250, minimum $350, and I was like, no, I'm not paying that. I'd rather get like a giant tattoo, like finish my sleeve, and then get a tiny one if I wanted that. Like, you know. Okay, can you add that real quick?
Shit. Oh my god, no, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna do that. Never mind. You just sold me out of not doing it anymore. Yep, not doing that. Oh my god. That's crazy. Because I've always actually seen the tattoo artists at Star Wars Celebration, and I was always curious. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they just take walk-ins, or I wonder like how much like a small little piece would be. So I'm assuming all these people have been. Oh my god, it's gonna be more expensive in London.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, no, not gonna do it.
Not worth it.
Well, no, I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna go and meet people at Celebration. Like, I'm not paying to meet. Like, I don't want to go and meet like Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do that this year or for next year, because I have a big feeling they always do this. They always do an international celebration, and then it always ends up coming back to Orlando. And I'm like, I'd rather save my money till when it's domestic, when it's in like the United States, because I just feel like it's gonna be so chaotic and so crazy, like to meet them like if any, like for example, if Ashley Eckstein goes or James Arnold Taylor goes, Matt Lanner, like I'll do that. I'll pay for them. But like the rest, I'm like, I'll just wait for them to come back to the States. That'll be a little bit easier.
I'm gonna start saving up now for that Orlando trip because I've never been, and I really want to go. Like, I really want to go to Celebration, and then like, like 3 days to,
and then go to Disney World.
So I want to go to Disney World.
Exactly. So. I know. Like that's basically I want to kind of like plan around that too. Like just going and like having just go for the full week, go to Disney, and then. I'm trying to convince my friend because she brought up the idea and she goes, I really want to do the Galactic Star Cruiser. And I said, sis, I'd love to do that with you. But that price point is a little bit too far out of my reach.
I personally would not do it. I mean, maybe. I don't know. It depends. If I had a buttload of cash, I would do it. But I'm not a very, like, interactive person. Like when I go to like Disneyland and stuff, I don't like watch like the shows or like whatever. Like I don't know. I'm just not like.
Yeah, I kind of got over watching the shows, and I used to perform in them. Like when I go to visit the parks now, like I don't unless I know my like friends, like my really really good Judies are like in the parade. I'll go and watch it, but like I'm not gonna go watch the castle show just to watch the castle show. I'm not gonna go watch this show because I want to. I will go on the Carousel of Progress to sleep and just sit around the circle just so I can get like, some free AC. But I'm very like, I don't have plans when I go to Disney anymore.
Yeah.
Like I just, whatever happens, happens. Unless like, I don't know how it is in Disneyland, but in Disney World, you have to like buy the Genie Plus pass and then get the lightning lane. Oh, that part got annoying very fast. But I'll only do that for like Guardians and for rides.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't ever use them on anything else.
Rise of the Resistance is worth it for sure.
Do you have to pay extra for rides in Disneyland?
It's like $20, I mean.
Like it's like what? Ours is $15. Holy
Maybe
shit!
It's 15. I don't know. It's a good question. I think it's 20.
I know that. I know for Guardians, like you can have the Genie Plus pass, and basically go in the virtual queue. And if you got the virtual queue, you don't have to pay extra for it. But if you want to do like a lightning lane and have a specific time you want to go to that ride, I think Guardians is $17, and then Rise of the Resistance is $15. And I think they're now, at least at Disney World, I think they're only doing like those like major rides in every park you have to pay extra for. Like I think it's like at Magic Kingdom is like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which I could never understand why that's why that's the most popular ride at Disney and Magic Kingdom. And then at Epcot, it's like Guardians Studios, it's Rise of the Resistance, and at Animal Kingdom, it's like Flight of Passage, which is from Pandora. And I'm just like, all right, just suck the money out of me. I worked here for 7.5 years, and now all you're doing is still torturing me in some way. Taking my money.
They're putting in
taking my money.
Right, over there.
They are.
So
I'm not gonna lie. I'm very excited. I remember when it opened in Shanghai Disneyland, and all my friends that were out there doing contracts were like show videos of the ride. I'm like, oh, dude, it'd be so dope if they brought it to Walt Disney World. And then they started building it. In my head, I'm like, where the hell is this thing gonna go? Like, you're gonna have to like destroy. We call it Tomorrowland Speedway. You guys know it as Autotopia.
Oh yeah, that can go.
Yeah, I was like, get rid of Tomorrowland Speedway. It'll go right here. No, they decided to like build around it. I'm like,
do you know when that's gonna be finished or no?
But it looks awesome. I feel like when I remember the start of this whole construction process, it was before COVID.
Okay.
And then I personally think either it will be done by the end of this year or by the beginning of next year.
By the time
because like by the time Celebration comes to Orlando, it will be completely finished.
Yes.
I have a feeling, yeah. And no, it should be because I think COVID put off construction for a while, but they can make it, it will definitely be open by the time Celebration comes to Orlando. And then, because in my head I was just like, I'll do a full week. I'll probably still be an annual pass holder no matter what. Even with these rise in prices, I see the Disneyland annual pass went up, and I felt for every single one of you. And I'm just like, inflation what? Like, it wasn't just one pass that went like, it wasn't like a $50 increase. It was like a massive increase. And I'm just like, do you all not know how people are struggling in California and you now just want to upcharge that even more? I'm like, damn. I felt for you guys. And then I also saw how insane it was just to renew your pass.
Yeah. I haven't tried it yet.
I was like, no.
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, God.
I still have like a month.
But, like, sorry, are you in... Oh, okay. Are you in... So both you and your wife are annual pass holders? Or is it just... Okay.
This was our first year doing it.
Nice.
I think it was worth it. Like, it's just fun to just go, like, for a day. Like, once a month.
Oh, yeah.
Just go.
Honestly, if you think about it, by the time like you hit like maybe 5 visits, you've paid off your pass, to be quite honest. Like at Disney World, just to get into the Magic Kingdom on a regular day, not it even being a holiday, it's like $110. So like me paying like $500.
$160 for us.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's a park hopper.
It's
I always get.
well, one day one park. No, yeah, one day one park with no park hopper is like $115. If it's peak, maybe it'll get to 130. Epcot, I think it's like 100 and I think at this point all the parks are now over $100,
Yeah.
which is crazy because at one point Animal Kingdom used to be the cheapest, and it used to be like $86 to get in. Studios was like $99. Magic Kingdom was always kind of going to be $100. So it's kind of like gotten really crazy. But then if you have the park hoppers, yeah, it's crazy insane. And then you have to buy the Genie Plus. And then, oh.
Just all adds up.
And I'm not going to lie, Genie Plus only is worth it, especially if you're like doing rides like Guardians and Rise the Resistance, if you're staying on Disney property.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm just like, so when I go down, that's why I'm making sure I'm staying in a Disney hotel. So when I go see Jim, we all can get on the Rise of the Resistance like queue at like 7 a.m. Because, yeah, it's crazy. It's to be insane. But I'm really excited because I'm going to be bringing a couple of my sabers so we can take pictures at the park. And I literally said, don't buy a Galaxy's Edge saber. Please don't buy a Galaxy's Edge saber. It ain't worth it. Do you still have your Amazon saber?
No, I don't have my Amazon saber. I don't know. Not worth it, Jim. A hunk of junk.
Nope, it ain't worth it. Literally, the hunk of junk I have mounted right here. It's like so embarrassing when I put it next to my Profi saber. Now I'm just like, oh wow.
I have the dark saber, which I really like. I don't know where it is though. I did get the dark saber, and I like that.
Oh yeah, I have the So when I was given when I got my dark ray saber, it came with a default at the bottom where it couldn't lock. So I basically had like a wonky donkey dark ray, and then Padawan Outpost sent me another one. So and then I shipped the other one back, and then they also gave me a Obi-Wan Kenobi Profi saber. Yeah, from Phantom Menace, which is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And I'm just like, yeah. So now when I put those two against each other, like my Galaxy's Edge saber and that one, I'm like, yeah,
not worth it.
Absolutely not. But as much as we had this like amazing intro, let's actually get into why I brought you onto the podcast today. And it's because you are like, to me, like I see you and I see a success story in cosplay. Like you didn't know anything. You came literally, you're like, I'm going to try this out. Let's see if this works. And now it's been like almost 2 years later, and your cosplays, like I said, are so dope, so cool. And I'm just like hella impressed.
Thank you.
Like it's.
I'm just winging it.
So I was like, so what is a wing and a prayer? But so what is it like to really be like a Star Wars cosplayer? Because like I've seen cosplayers in different fandoms, and some people prefer this fandom when it comes to cosplay. Star Wars is like such a huge entity on its own. So kind of like I feel like sometimes when you're cosplaying a Star Wars character, there's a little bit of pressure that comes with it because it is Star Wars. So yeah, what is it like to be a Star Wars cosplayer?
Good and bad, I would say. I mean, and that's how like any cosplay is, I guess. It's good and bad. Like it does suck like when you put so much effort like into a cosplay and then like you like make a funny TikTok and people just like rip your stuff apart, and it's like it was kind of annoying. Like my big one right now is Anno has a hood, and people like hate that Anno has a hood because he's a Mando, and they're like half the people love it, half the people think it's stupid, and I'm just like I used to like get really like annoyed at it, and I'm just like whatever, like it is what it is. So like just knowing that if you're gonna cosplay and post stuff on the internet, you're gonna get people that don't like it. And this is not mean, but if you can't take it, then like you're just gonna get upset, you know. And I'm fine with it. Like I'm fine with defending myself for what I make, and also just don't care, you know. Like in the beginning, I really cared, and like it's more so just like people making like stupid comments like all the time. Like let's see, right now Rex, his rangefinder is switched, and like that's a big one that I used to get is like the rangefinder's on the wrong way, and I'm like, how does a mirror work? How do you think I'm filming my TikToks? Like I have to use the front camera because I can't see otherwise. Like I have to like
You
press
can't
it,
see.
and I'm like,
Yep.
use your brain. Why do you think it switched? Like, do you think I would make this whole Rex costume and have it switched? Like it's not even possible. Like it's physically on the thing. It's not possible. Like this side is flat and this side has the little rivets. Like it's physically not possible. And I'm just like people on the internet just like comment dumb stuff like all the time,
Blow your
like for no
mind.
reason. Like they just I don't know if it's like jealousy
Yeah.
or if it's um just mean people. I don't know. Like it is what it is. So
I mean, we know the shadow realms of
especially Star
Star
Wars,
Wars
yeah,
exist, and it's just those people. Yeah, they're just such hateful people, and they just want to. They say it just so they can feel something. I was talking about this with Victoria like 2 weeks ago, and they say stuff like that so they can feel something. Because at the end of
yeah,
the day, it really isn't a big deal. Like you're making a great point. We film and record our stuff on our front facing camera unless you put it on your settings or there's a specific
yeah.
app that you can just
So
have it in its original form. It's going to be mirrored, so everything's going to be on the
yeah,
opposite side, and just get over it. I mean, I know many people. I've seen it. I've seen it in the anime
hmm,
community. They get very butthurt when the cosplays are not accurate to a
yeah,
T. And I've seen that with Star Wars as well,
very much a Star
which is
Wars.
crazy to me because I feel like, especially when it comes to like troopers, or whether it's clone troopers, stormtroopers, Mandalorian, anybody with basically
Hmm,
armor gets heavily criticized that it's not movie TV
yeah,
accurate. And I'm just like, not every body type is going to be the same, so there's going to have to be
yeah,
adjustments for every single piece. And if a Nick is on the wrong side, that could have been an accident. It could have been an
yeah,
accident when creating. Like, it's not really a big deal. It's like, dude, they're not prepping to go bow in front of George
yeah,
Lucas, like for his approval. Like they're
yeah,
doing it for themselves. It's always, I always find it really, really interesting.
yeah. So
But
I think if you want to cosplay, just don't care what anybody thinks. Like, do what you love. Like, even if it's like you just make a helmet and you're walking around with a helmet and you're proud of the helmet, like, wear it with pride. Don't care what anybody says because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter and it makes you happy. You know, like I I know people that, like you said, like you would want to just buy the full costume. Like, if you have the money and you want to commission someone to buy a costume from that will make you a whole kit, like, that good on you. Like, I know that I can't. Let's see. I can build a table. I was gonna say I can't build a table. Whatever. We'll just say I can't build a table. You know, like so I commissioned someone else to do it. Like it's not like a big deal. Like I know there's some people in the community that like frown upon that, but not everybody has the time or. I mean, I think you have the skills. It just takes practice, like learning what to do, like what techniques work. So I think everybody can do it. It just takes a lot of effort. Um, but if you want to buy it, buy it. If you want to wear a thing from like Galaxy's Edge or whatever, like go for it. You know, I think it's just expressing yourself and being happy, and that's what cosplay is about to me, at least. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like it's kind of like touching upon your Anno cosplay because it's one of my favorites mainly because Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters. So technically, Anno is basically just inspired by Ahsoka, right? It's a Mandalorian
yeah,
cosplay inspired by
yeah.
Ahsoka.
So his backstory, which I kind of want to change, kind of don't, because it's a cool backstory, but like canon wise, he would be dead because it's like a post Imperial kit. But he was a
Mm-hmm.
clone in the 332nd. His name was Lifeline, and he got blown up but saved by Ahsoka. And when he got blown up, his like inhibitor chip got destroyed. So when he like came to
Mm-hmm.
and saw Order 66, he ran. He tried to save like one of the Mandalorians that was during like the Siege of Mandalore because like the clones were just like killing everybody, you know. Um,
There, yeah.
and so he saves the man. He tries to save the Mandalorian, but he gives him his kit and says like it's not. I forgot what I put, but it was like it's not like where you come from. It's like wearing it with honor or something like that. I can't remember what I wrote, but I wrote like a whole backstory.
It's basically the same thing. It's the same basically backstory when it comes to the Mandalorian, because he wasn't
Exactly. Yeah.
born
He
a
basically became a
Mandalorian.
foundling.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
So
That's so
then,
cool. You know, I love it.
yeah.
It's
So then he painted it after
it's
Ahsoka,
perfect.
and yeah, that's it. And that's kind of why I put the hood too,
I love it.
because Ahsoka is like such a,
Mm-hmm.
she was like well known, so like it kind of covers a little bit of it, but he still gets to like wear it with pride. So that's kind of why I did it.
How long did it take you to make Anno from like start to finish?
2 weeks. Well, a little bit
Okay.
longer because I was really struggling trying to find a flight suit. So when I went to, which is really funny because now that I see all these photos at LA Comic Con, that's where I like brought it to first. Um, I just had like like a long sleeve shirt underneath and like pants. Like I didn't have a flight suit, and so I see the pictures that are like posted on the LA Comic Con stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I hate this. Like that's not what my kid's supposed to look like at all. Like
It's like now you're
yeah,
realizing the small fault. You're like,
it
oh
was like
crap.
first,
Like,
yeah,
and now
it
people
was like
see
Mark
this.
One, like I don't know, and it's like the belt. Like I wasn't happy with the belt either. I have a new belt. I have a new holster. I have a new blaster. Like I'm just constantly upgrading it. And that's what I really like about Mandalorians is like you can just keep upgrading them. Like clones are sweet because I can build it, and normally it's like after a certain character, so I can build it, forget it, wear it. But I also really like the fact that the Mandalorian I can like make my own stuff. Like I never thought I was gonna make a Mandalorian. I never really had an interest in it. And then when Jim and I were talking, and we both wanted to paint our prototype Boba Fett, 332nd, and so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what would be cool is if this was a full kit. And so Darth Nurse actually made a helmet that looked like Anna's, and I just changed like a couple of tiny little things, but it's pretty much the same. And I changed it a little bit, and then I was like, I'll make a full kit out of it. So that's kind of how it came about.
Oh, that's dope.
It was me and Jim just talking, and Jim made one as
That's
well,
awesome.
which was really
Yeah,
nice.
I know. I can't wait to see it in
Yeah,
person next year. Like, and on top of that, the new one that Elvis just his new helmet that Elvis just made him with his fulcrum colors.
yeah,
Oh, I'm like so
yeah.
excited.
So I'm gonna make a couple more Mandos here soon. Once I get this 3D printer
And
up and
honestly, I
working.
love Mandalorian. I love the Mandalorian armor. It's just they're so unique in every like not one Mandalorian looks the same as
Yeah,
another. They're always going to look different in some way, which is it's been awesome to see. So like obviously you have your inspired characters and you have your like actual cosplay characters. Like are you ever, and this is a question that like I feel like you've probably gotten so many times, are you like interested in like joining the 501st or like the Rebel Legion?
um,
Like
no,
cuz they're like those are that's like to me, like I see the 501st and the Rebel Legion, and I'm like, that's really cool. I saw them all the time when they were at Walt Disney World for Star Wars weekends because they would do the parade. Like the Rebel Legion and the 501st was literally a part of Star Wars weekends. But they're like so specific with how it has to look, and to me, it gives very like elitist kind of thing, and I'm like, I don't care for that. It's like just cosplay who you want, and who gives a shit.
my
But
Rex.
so that's not you don't want to.
So my Rex could probably get approved Not right now because he's got a lot of cracks and stuff in it. Because when I first built him, I did a lot of TikToks with him, so he's got a lot of like stress fractures and like stuff that I need to repair. I need to repaint him a little bit. So like he could pass. Tuck can't pass because he doesn't exist. And then I don't know if Ano can, because I know they have some rule in the Mercs about it being like can't be like a different character or something like that. They don't like mashups or something like that. I've heard both, like it can and it can't, because it's like it's a mashup, but then it's also like has the fulcrum symbol on it, so like it could pass. It's like kind of up in the air, but I really want to do the charity aspect of it. Like I've always been involved with nonprofits, and I would really love to do that, but with that one, it's just there's so much like bad things that I've heard that just kind of like turns me off of it, and I would rather like as much as I don't really do it, but like when I went to like LA Galaxy like a couple weeks ago, like that was super fun. Like I got to go hang out with kids and like go walk around in my costume, meet people, like take pictures with people. And it's super rad, and I would really love to do that like in more of a like I would like to do that more. But I don't want to deal with all those people, you know. But I mean, they do great
And
things.
there's like a lot of politics that come with it.
Yeah,
So.
and I don't want to like discourage people that want to join the 501st. Like, I'm not saying don't join them. I personally don't want to deal with drama. I'm not a high schooler anymore, and I just don't want to do that.
It will follow. It will follow everywhere. Yeah. Oh my God, I cannot even express like just like some drama that's happened in our community within this past year. I was just like, I remember graduating high school 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Why is it still feel like I'm dealing with high school drama? Like it's crazy. But no, I understand that.
And especially being
it's not for everybody.
Especially being in California. So that's another thing too, is I think if I lived somewhere else, I would probably definitely join the 501st. Because I have a lot of friends like who are in the 501st in Canada and the UK or even like the Midwest. Like from what I've heard from them, it's not as bad. And I think the reason it's as bad,
it's smaller.
Well, that, and it's also we're in California, so a big part of the drama, from what I've heard, is the people that get to go to special events. And since we're in California and they always have like stuff going on in California, like premieres and like all that kind of stuff, that's when the drama really starts to happen. Is the like, oh, his kid's better than my kid's better than his. Like, why is he going to this premiere? And like all that kind of stuff. And so I just don't want to deal with that. I could care less about going to a premiere, unless it's a Percy Jackson premiere, because I talked about that on my podcast yesterday. I would love to go there. That's the one I'd love to go to.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm so happy they're making their reboot. I'm just so happy it's coming.
I'm putting it on the universe. If I can go
I'm so happy.
That'd be sick. But I just
listen. If you're listening out there, Disney Plus, like hook a guy up.
Come on,
that LA Galaxy was so. It's so funny that you were there too, because I had so many of my friends also there. Like I had Joshua Johnson, who sang the national anthem.
Yeah, I met him.
I had him on my podcast a few weeks ago. So cool. And then my friend Nick Down, who's also there with his friends, and I was just like recognizing all these people. I'm like, damn, I don't even watch soccer like that. But just because it was a Star Wars night, I just wish I could have flown out. Just been like, yeah, I'll just go. It
was super rad. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was so like, because like Josh was explaining it to me. He was like, yo, the LA Galaxy game, like, you know, and they asked me to go and sing the national anthem. And I said, oh, that's very cool, but it's very specific. Like, why? They're like, oh, it's a Star Wars night. I'm like, you had me at Star Wars night, like, for anything. And I think that's like also the main thing I'm really jealous about you people in California. It's that, like, for example, Disneyland will actually have a Star Wars night, and I'm like, we don't get that luxury at Disney World.
But
not anymore.
I just wanted to preface, I'm not dissing the 501st. I just don't want to deal with drama personally. I'm not in high school anymore.
No, that makes sense. I pretty much respect that because I try with all my might to just not be involved in drama, whether it's like people at work or people in the community. I'm like, I'm just here to have fun and enjoy Star Wars and share my love for anime and Star Wars, and I could care less about what's happening in the background. So you were mentioning you had some new plans for some cosplay. Like, what are you planning on doing?
Yeah, so many. I really want to start branching off into Marvel. So I'm starting a Star-Lord right now. I don't have the helmet with me because it's on the set. But I got the helmet. Just need to get like the jacket and pants, and that will be pretty easy. But I also want to do Captain America. My wife agreed to do Peggy Carter, so I was like, hey, I'll take what I can get, even if it's just a green suit. I'll take what I can get if you want to come hang out with me. And so,
that's so sweet. Oh, that's gonna be amazing. Even if she can do like Captain Carter,
not like yet. I already tried to convince her.
Oh, she's not there
She's
yet.
like, I'll wear like the green suit dress, like her like dress greens.
And then pin up hair, and that's about it. Yeah. That's all you're getting.
I was like, all right, yeah, we'll start with that, and then maybe we'll move to Captain Carter, so that's the push I'm trying to make.
Like, hold on to this and see how it feels. Yeah, and if you like it, like, oh, there's a whole outfit.
Right? Yeah, you like that? Okay, cool. So yeah, doing
happy anniversary.
Exactly. So doing those two, and then I really want to do a tech season 2 tech. So I have the helmet for that one, and then I'm gonna do. I've talked about this on my podcast, but the 501st grunt. So I can do. If I do a 501st grunt, I just have to get helmets, so I can be an ARF trooper. I can be a pilot. I can do 332nd. So like, there's a couple that I can do in there. So like, I can just have one kit, change the helmet, and I have like 4 cosplays. So.
Yeah, it gives you options.
So I'm gonna do those, and I've always wanted to make an ARF trooper. They're the ones with like the like brown like mask coming down. They look super rad. I've always wanted to do one, so I'm gonna do that. So I have a lot that I have in mind. I have like 6 helmets on my workshop right now, and like a clone backpack that I need to get through. So yeah, I have a lot. And I would really like.
So do you make helmet like? I don't remember this, but you just make helmets for yourself, or do you actually commission helmets for other people too?
I do commissions, but they're very rare. I don't do many. My printer doesn't work, so like it's kind of hard. I need to get it to work. I don't know what happened to it, but so that's kind of hard. So I have to outsource to my buddy, Captain Vaughn, who prints off helmets for me, and then basically what I'll do is like I'll basically have it finished, and it won't be like a commission. I've done a couple where like they ask for a specific helmet, but right now I'm just working on Rexes because like I've done a lot of them. So
it's kind of like in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. So like basically what I'll do is I'll prep the helmet and like get it ready, and then I'll like put on my Instagram like, hey, I have a commission open for Rex. Like if anybody wants a Rex helmet. So.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember you mentioning you had a printer, but I was just like, I don't know if he does like what Elvis does.
Yeah.
Because Elvis has a printer too, and he started doing commissions for helmets. Yeah. And I low key, I never thought I would say I would now want a helmet, but after seeing Jim's Fulcrum one that he just got, I am very tempted to get a Mando Ahsoka inspired. I already just got into the whole lightsaber thing, and
helmets are cooler.
Sam,
look at how cool you can display them.
That's true. I'd like to just, I would say if I would have a bigger space, like this, right now I'm just in a studio in Atlanta, but if I were to have like a 1 bedroom, yeah, I would definitely have like a full dedicated space just for like one wall just for lightsabers, one wall for like posters, one wall for like probably helmets.
Helmets are the best.
Yeah, have you ever seen the TikTok where like it goes like, all right, bud, putting you on the wall, and then it steps back like, I'm in severe credit card debt. Like that is any Star Wars fan, but that is going to be me if I continue down this road, and I gotta be saving it for Celebration. This is another thing.
That's another thing. Like when I see something, I'm like, oh, I can just make that. Like, so that's like what I do. Like all these helmets back here are made by me, except for these two. Which this one was Alpha Ignition. I just made this, and I was like, hey, when you're selling that, I want it. Just because it was a cool like concept, like right there in the 501st. So I did that, and then this one was the first helmet I ever bought. Was the Jespin Props. He does an amazing job. If you guys need a full Mando kit, he is probably the one to go if you just want to buy a Mando kit. So I ordered this one, like when we met. I ordered this one, and then it took.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, it took so long for this to get here. I made all of these because that was like the first thing. I was
like, I'm a little bit impatient.
Yeah, well, I also didn't really know how to make anything, so I just saw that and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I want to make that, but I want to have something to start with, so I bought that one, and then I think I just got lost because he has so many that he's doing. Like, I just got lost and I forgot about it, and like a year later, I was like, hey, someone received my helmet, and he's like, dude, like that was like 50, 60 orders ago, and I was like, oh, can I get it now? That'd be cool. And then I already had it, but yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so do you have any advice for anybody that's like interested in like clone, stormtrooper, Mando cosplay? Like anybody, like it could be man or female. I mean, the goal is to hit an hour and 15, but I guess like if you were to give like a brand new person like one piece of advice.
One piece of advice? Oh, that's hard. Just one?
Okay. Three. I'll give you like just name three pieces of advice you would give to anybody that'd be interested in ever doing a clone trooper, stormtrooper, Mandalorian, like
research. Do your research.
So do your research.
Like what that means is like getting your make sure you know what character you want to get. Print out like the pictures. Like sometimes I'll just use my phone, but like a lot of people print out the picture and like make sure they have it like everywhere. So it's like kind of cool because it's like a visual, like how to copy it, but it's also like I feel like inspiration. So like having like the picture of what you want to make. So doing your research, making sure that like if you are turning in the final first, making sure everything is like exactly how it's supposed to be. And then patience is another one. A lot of times,
the Jedi way is patience.
I have no patience. So usually a helmet will take me, instead of it taking me 2 days, it'll take me a week because I rushed a paint job or like I did something. So like I'm going to repaint my Honor helmet because it's not where I want it to be. So I would say research, patience, and ask questions. Asking like, I know that I just kind of like talk bad about all the people at first, but like most of them, they're all good people, you know. And like, if you ask advice from someone, like more than likely they will help you. So like that's what I did when I created my Instagram specifically to help or to get help. I just started adding people, like just started following people, and then I'd like their stuff, and then I'd slowly like work back, be like, hey, how do you do that? So I can make this. And
I mean, but it's being resourceful.
Yeah. So I mean, I would just say make friends, ask questions. Like if you can get into an armor party, if there's one around, like if you even if you don't want to be in the 501st, you can, I'm pretty sure, still join like armor parties. I'm not really sure exactly how it works. Like I'm kind of in like the Facebook groups, but like not really. I'm in them, but I just like kind of look at them every now and then. But
I'm just going to assume an armor party is a party where a bunch of people are dressed in like Mandalorian armor or
no,
Clone Trooper armor.
no,
No? That's not what it
no.
is?
It's like a the second
Like, it's
person
like,
that's
right,
actually asked me
you
that, which is
put
really funny.
like, you said it so calm, but like, have you ever been to an armor party? And like, in my head, I'm like, oh my god, that's so awesome. Like, a bunch of these people just come together in their armor and like party it out. I'm like, love
The second
it.
person that's asked me that, no, it's an armor party is like where you get together and work on your kits. So like it'll be like hosted at someone's
Oh,
house. So like I've hosted a couple at my house where like my friends come over and we work on armor together. That's an armor party.
got
Yeah,
you. I mean, you still come together with
that's
your
true.
armor. It's just not fully
That's true.
on. Got you. Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
clarified.
So yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are armor parties out there where everyone
that's
just
true. Yeah,
does dress up and
yeah,
come.
maybe I would host it. I'd be down. That'd be sick. So yeah, I would just if I could
Oh,
give
having a full party in armor? Oh,
yeah.
duh.
So if I could give three pieces of advice, it would be research, patience, and asking questions.
Which I feel like is basically the advice you give to any cosplayer,
Oh,
because you have to do
100%.
your research on any cosplay, like patient, like definitely it's
Mm-hmm.
patience. I mean, I've seen I remember following this guy on TikTok like at the beginning of beginning of the pandemic,
I have one more.
and he was like, talking about how you
I
have
have
one
one
more.
more.
Okay, what is it?
There's like a big one, and I'm pretty sure it's a famous quote, but I know it only from one song. But comparison is the thief of joy. I'm pretty sure it's a famous quote, not just from the song that I'm thinking of. But don't compare yourself to other cosplayers because if if you do that, you're just not going to have fun. Like why am I not getting as many likes as this person, or like why doesn't my kit look as good as theirs? Like if you love what you have, then that's all that should matter. Like you shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
comparing yourself. Like wear what you have with pride, um, especially if you made it, because that is so hard making stuff yourself and then also putting yourself out there. Like that is something that you should be very proud of. So just don't compare yourself to other people, and just keep practicing. Do the first three things that I said, and you'll eventually get there. So, and then just be nice to people
Yeah,
too. If you eventually,
it's
I
always
know
good
this
to be
is
nice.
my fifth one now, but if you eventually get there, like, and people are asking you questions, like, be nice, help them out, know where you came from. Like, I talked about this
Be
yesterday. Like,
humble.
yeah, be humble. Like, I started the YouTube channel that I have now specifically for people that were asking questions because it was so hard to like I said this yesterday, but I don't want to ignore people, but like when you're asking me like a question like how to weather or like something like that, it's so hard to type out. Like it's so hard to be like, okay, you're gonna overspray, then take your 50 grit, like wet it, like so like and
Yeah.
I get those questions like all the time. So I was like, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel. I've been slacking on it, but make the YouTube channel and so I can like link it to you. So just try to be nice. I try to answer questions as much as I can, but sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. So
Yeah, it gets redundant, and you're like, I could just make an easy video about this, and people can just follow step by step.
exactly.
And that's honestly like what I love about sometimes about the cosplay community is that there's so many videos out there. At least, like, for example, this is hypothetical, it's never gonna happen. If I ever wanted to build my cosplay from scratch, like I wanted to build for example, I started playing this game called Genshin Impact recently. It's very, very big in the anime world. And there's so many cosplays out there, but some of them are very, very expensive. But I've ever wanted to build it like from scratch, like sew it from scratch. Like there's so many videos out there of like how to do this, how to do that. But if you see a need and you fill the need, you're helping, like you're doing the job. And so like, for example, like you're weathering 101 video, step-by-step process of how to weather.
That's a good point that you just brought up that video. That was like my first video I made, and or it was my second, but like don't gatekeep your process, like how to weather stuff. Like I wouldn't be able to weather stuff if it wasn't for the people that helped me, that learned it beforehand. So like the overspray method that I learned from Go Getter Greg, like all the other stuff, like the weathering that I did on that one with the rust and like the textured spray paint, like how to make that, like that was a combination of I believe it was Tech Bad Batch who mentioned it, and I didn't know how to execute it, so I made my own way, and then I made a video about it, and I personally think it looks really good, like the way it turned out. And I'm not going to gatekeep that stuff. Like there's no point. Like I want to see other people that want to cosplay thrive and make creation, and it's cool. Like if you see like you're like Mark, if that's how you want to see it, like if they use that weathering technique, like that's cool. You know, like I'm never going to gatekeep that. I just want everybody to be happy and successful with their builds. So.
And I mean, that's amazing to hear, just because like that's how like everything in the Star Wars community should be, whether it's cosplay, whether it's, you know, if you're in the lightsaber community, if you're in the sound font community, if you're in the Lego community, the Funko, like whatever community you're part, or niche, I should say, you're in the Star Wars community, like there should be no reason to gatekeep, because like just do what makes you happy. Like Star Wars makes people happy for a reason. So like why, if they're trying to do something that they love, like from a franchise that they love, there shouldn't be people hiding the way they do things, because just, if anything, it makes them look arrogant. And like, like we both work in the film industry, and we have seen so many egos that exist for no reason. So like, there's no reason for people to be gatekeeping how to do things, especially when it can help somebody else. Like I don't do sound fonts. I don't build cosplays. I don't build helmets. I don't collect things. Like I don't do anything. But what my purpose is for this channel, for this podcast, is I know there's so many people out there that are interested and want to know more information. So I invite different people every single week that might know something more than me. And I'm completely okay with knowing that I don't know everything about Star Wars. Like, I love it with all my heart, but I'm not an expert, and I never will be. So there's always going to be those people that I don't think, unless you are Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and George Lucas, I don't think there'll be any other expert completely on everything in Star Wars. And that's completely okay. But it's been nice because people come to my channel, people come to these videos, and they'll take away something that they never knew before, which is awesome. And now that's my goal. Super awesome. That's always going to be my goal.
Yeah, I think just getting information out
there
is always a good thing. You know.
Yeah, because like if you don't explain it, like it's going to be hard for people to learn. For example, like I didn't know when it comes to Star Wars games, had no idea that some of them are canon and some of them are not, or they've been in canon. Like I didn't know any of these things. So when Jim was explaining it to me, I'm just like, oh, this makes sense. For example, Cal Kestis, didn't know where he came from at all, except for when it was like last year when we were talking about the Bad Batch, when we were on those streams, and someone kept saying, oh, Cal is going to make an appearance in the Bad Batch. And in my head, I'm like, who the hell is Cal Kestis?
Yeah.
And then I never really cared to actually research where he was from until I had my first episode with Jim. And Jim's like, no, Cal is from the game. He's from like a Star Wars game. And I'm like, oh. But he's like and I was like telling him, I'm like, but he's made such like an impact on like the Star Wars universe. It feels like he's like a canon character from like a book. And he goes, no, he's from a book. He's from a game. And I'm like, oh, things that I didn't know. That now I do.
I have a cosplay.
And it's really funny because
I never wear it.
Oh, do you really?
I don't like showing my face very much, so like I never wear it. So,
I feel that because when I used to perform at Disney, everyone had always asked me like, "Oh my god, you must be like a Disney princess," and I'm like, "No,
yeah,
I used to be friends with Mickey Mouse. I don't want my face to be
yeah.
shown."
Nope.
But it's definitely nice because I on my Profi Saber I have a sound font just for Cal Kestis. So it's been cool to hear his sound font and turn on his saber and it just be completely different than anybody else's I've ever seen. So it's been very nice. So of course, for all the cosplayers out there, take the advice. Don't ask questions. Be patient. I can't express how patient people need to be. Like I was like mentioning before, there was this TikToker that was trying to build this Senator Anakin Skywalker cosplay. It took him, kid you not, a year and a half to fully make it. Like he was doing beading from scratch, like patterns from scratch, like he was doing everything from scratch. And I'm like, patience. That's all you need to have. It looks amazing. And it's kind of crazy because like I really now want Disney to do a what if for Star Wars because technically the cosplay is based off of what if Anakin left the Jedi Order, married Padme, but then joined the Senate representing like, you know, whatever he was going to represent. And it was his senator like outfit. And I'm like, this looks so dope. And it's such a cool concept. And now I wish this could be a real thing because that'd be awesome.
The original idea for Anno was gonna be that Ahsoka had. I had like a bunch of different like backstories. Ahsoka had a brother, and when she got taken to the Jedi Temple, he didn't have Force abilities like showing, so he got kidnapped from like the people that were trying to get like Force users because his sister got kidnapped, or not kidnapped, but taken to the Jedi Order. So he got taken by Mandalorian, like he got saved by Mandalorian and became a foundling. So that was gonna be the original idea. Like I was gonna do the whole what is it, Leku?
Leku and everything. Yeah. Oh wow!
So that was gonna be the original idea, but I didn't go with that one.
Disney, just consider it. At least consider doing a what if for Star Wars because I think that'd be so like. What if Anakin never went to the dark side? What if like, or if he did go to the dark side? What if like Leia finds out she's the daughter of Darth Vader and then decides to join the dark side? Like, I personally like to see this. I know people will be cringe, like, no, Princess Leia needs to remain on the good side. No, man, like, don't you want to see, like, what if? Like,
I think that'd be cool.
Oh, I'd be so sick. Well, Blake, I've been so happy to have you on here. We obviously, like, message each other on Instagram. We follow each other's stuff. Like, I am such a big fan of your work. I'm a big fan of your cosplays. And I love it because, like, we're both professional dorks. So like we get it, but it's also cool because like we both also like worked in the film industry. So it's kind of like we get certain things. And yeah, it's just I really need to take a trip out to California one of these days and like finally meet you guys in person. You know what's crazy? I used to go to California twice a year when I worked at Disney because I would just go to Disneyland twice a year when the holidays were over and then all the cast discounts would come out. Like the cheapest times to ever go to Disneyland was right after New Year's Eve. So I'd always go in January and then I would probably go sometime in the summer. Like I was there for the Disneyland 60th anniversary. Best time of my life. I was there in California for 10 days. And I miss it. Yeah. I don't know. Like for some reason in my head, I was like, there's so much to do at Disneyland. I have to be there for 10 days. And then like halfway through my trip, I'm like, I think I've explored like every single part of Disneyland twice. Yeah, definitely. And then, I mean, I did go see other places in California. Like I did leave Anaheim. I did go to LA, but yeah, I miss it. It's just, it's so hard since like I can't get in for free anymore, and I'm just like, that requires me to buy a ticket, and I don't want to upgrade my pass where I can get the like pass to both coasts because I don't go to Disneyland enough to make it to see that it's worth it. Yeah, I'll be there at some point. I'll make my way over there.
Let me know when.
Hopefully I could be in LA. Like, I don't know. I always said that at one point of my career, I did want to end up in LA. I just don't think I was like ready to get into LA yet, just because the film industry out there is just so intense,
competitive,
and very competitive. But I've been enjoying living in the new Hollywood, which is what they're now calling Atlanta.
Yeah.
And more studios are coming out here, so I'm just like, I just may.
I think everything's gonna
stay
change
here.
Personally. Eventually.
Either that, or they're going to Utah or Colorado. Like like one of my boss, like her when she worked on Peacemaker, she obviously became good friends with James Gunn, but like apparently he's doing all his post-production for Guardians 3 in Colorado. And I'm like, that's so random, but that's because I always think of people doing, their work here in Atlanta and then do all posts in California or New York. But I was just like, oh, well, I guess we'll see one day. But everybody, please go follow Blake, literally on his Instagram, on his TikTok, on his YouTube channel. If you're interested in building a Mandalorian cosplay or a Clone Trooper cosplay or a Stormtrooper cosplay, I follow him. Just follow him. Like, just do it. Like, do it.
Yeah.
But, Blake, thank you so much for being on my podcast. I cannot wait to see more episodes of your podcast. I'm, like, really, really hyped.
I'm excited for it.
It's called Just Another Star Wars Podcast, right?
That was just the title of it, but that's actually a good name. It's Project Beskar. Yeah.
Project, well, actually, that's also I like that name too.
So, because we all have Mando kids, so it's kind of like the I don't know. We went through so many.
The gist of it.
I still think Utini's Weenies was so funny. Utini's Weenies, and I was really voting for Wookiees Cookies because I thought it was just hilarious. But they're like, we're doing a cookie show, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Wookiees Cookies would be hilarious, dude. So.
That'd be so funny. I mean, that'd be even better if you guys, like, cook something on screen. But that's really funny. Yeah, no, with SNIP'S COMLINK, I kept going back and forth on, like, what I wanted to call this. And I think Paul, on one of the streams I was on, was like, oh, SNIP'S COMLINK sounds pretty cool.
Because,
like, my favorite character is Ahsoka. Yeah. And everyone, like, in Star Wars talks on a comlink. Yeah. And I'm like, SNIP'S COMLINK, yeah. I can see. Yeah, I like that. And that's what just stuck.
I like it a lot.
So, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, Blake, once again, I'm saying thank you for, like, the millionth time.
Thank you for having me.
But it's literally what I mean. Like, everyone that I've invited onto my podcast, like, I was so nervous asking. Like, I was like, shit, what if they say no? Like, what if, like, it doesn't work out? But, like, anybody that's been on my podcast, like, I cannot express how grateful I've been having you guys on. You guys are friends. You guys are basically like family to me at this point. It's funny because my mom's like, where are your friends? And, like, they're not in Atlanta. They're, like, everywhere else. But literally, like I said, go follow his channel. Follow my channel. Subscribe to all of our shit. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I was going to say Twitch, but I'm really not on Twitch. So don't follow me on Twitch. Twitch is such a complicated platform to handle, and I'm like, no. But see you guys next week for a new episode of SNIP'S COMLINK, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, Girl Scouts.